think our responsibility is to ask whether our own government has played any role, and we clearly have. We've encircled Russia with a hostile military alliance that was never supposed to go up to Russian borders, as we promised when the Soviets allowed, the Germans to reunify, an incredibly threatening thing to do for Russia. If you look at the history of the 20th century, they did it on the condition that NATO would not go east beyond Germany. We immediately went east under Clinton and then Bush, like up to the Russian border. Not only that, look at how involved we were in Ukraine. When Burisma wanted favors, they didn't pay off the son of a Ukrainian politician. They paid Joe Biden's son because that's who was running Ukraine. So we're running Ukraine since 2014 with the change of government that we had a role in, right on the most sensitive part of the Russian border that was twice used to invade Russia during the 20th century. And then suddenly we say, we have nothing to do with Ukraine. Right. Of course we're playing a major role in Ukraine, and have been since at least 2014. And of course that's threatening to Russia in the same way it would be if the Russians were that involved in Mexico.
If you look at how people were talking at the beginning of the Russian invasion of Ukraine,
which you support.
I planned it.
Yeah.
I advocated for it, and now I'm the primary theorist justifying it, as Twitter will be happy to tell you. But if you look at the kind of narrative that arose, it was, the entire world is united behind the United States and we're all against Russia. The entire world is rising up against this, immoral invasion. And the entire time, the biggest and most important countries on the world outside of NATO, outside of Western Europe, were making it very clear that they intended to not only maintain relationships with the Russians, but fill that gap with, all kinds of aggressive ways of undermining U.S. hegemonic control, including by moving away from the dollar, which is the whole basis of the relation between the United States and Saudi Arabia has been, we'll keep these despotic monsters in power using our superior weapons and money and diplomatic force in exchange for them keeping the dollar as the reserve currency for oil. And they were talking openly about selling oil to Russia or to China using other kinds of currency. India just said right from the beginning, the second biggest country in the world, along with China, no, we're not joining this sanctions regime. Brazil did the same. Brazil's in this BRICS alliance with Russia and China, and has been for many years and sees their growth. And so this, and the ruble actually is at its highest amount. Russia's oil income has actually increased, largely because the price of oil has increased. But so I'm not saying sanctions have been irrelevant, but we don't have the ability to strangle and put a chokehold that's fatal on any country that we want, like we did even 15 or 20 years ago.
Yeah.